In a world of garage gym bros gone mad, one hero stands above them all. Swooping into the darkness painted black like the night he was named for, standing strong under hundreds and hundreds of pounds of pressure. NightHawk is the new adjustable bench from Rep Fitness. Wait, adjustable bench. This isn't not a superhero. Does it have a cape?
No cape.
Can it shoot lasers out of its eyes?
No, it's a weight bench.
Does this thing called a NightHawk even fly?
Again, it's just a weight bench.
You know, you marketers have finally gone too far. I'm out of here.
Welcome back to the GymCrafter YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Tim. I am the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I build home and garage gyms that we absolutely love. And I have got something that a lot of people have been waiting to look at today, and something you're probably going to be seeing a lot of. Rep Fitness has introduced a new bench. It's called the NightHawk. It is their newest addition to their line of adjustable benches, and I think it's got some really cool promise. And today we're going to do not only an unboxing and first look, but because you're probably going to be seeing this bench everywhere, I want to do something a little bit different in this video. I want to make sure that we do my normal deep dive into this bench and give you all the details you're going to need. I know a lot of you have already messaged me asking my opinion on it, and you're looking at buying it, so I want to try and answer all of those questions up front so that you have that. And since I've already had the AB-5200 and the Blackwing, and the 5200 is actually right behind me right here, I'm going to end the video by doing a comparison between this and those benches, because one of the things that I really like about what Rep is doing with this bench is they're kind of taking their rather large bench assortment and they're kind of paring it down into a good, better, best, which I think is a smart strategy, right? Like a lot of times people, when they go to the Rep Fitness website, or you go look at a barbell someplace and you pull up a website and there's 800 different options, it's really hard to pick. And I think that one of the best things that companies can do for their customers is just narrow it down to a good, better, best. There doesn't have to be a million different options. So this would be the good of the good, better, best. The 5200 is the better and the Blackwing is the best. So I want to kind of compare them so that if you're trying to decide between two of those options, specifically this one and the 5200, because the delta between this and the Blackwing is pretty big, but between this and the 5200 is where most of you are going to be. So I want to try and do a little comparison at the end to help you guys out there who are trying to decide between those two. So like all unboxings, we're going to start with the shipping and packaging. Box is a little bit beat up. This is an imported product, so you kind of got to just kind of comes with the territory, right? However, Rep does a great job using very heavy gauge cardboard. They double wall everything, they package everything well, so I'm assuming this is going to be a nice looking bench once I get it out of here. Shipping was relatively quick. Rep ships from a couple of different warehouses in the US. The price on this bench I think is $449 the last time I looked, but there is a link down below that is an affiliate link. Rep did send me this bench to evaluate and review at no charge, so one of the reasons that they do that for a smaller channel like mine is that you guys use those affiliate links, and that tells companies like Rep that you like this channel, you like the longer form videos that I do, you like the information that I give. So if this video is helpful to you and you decide to buy this or the 5200, please use those links. That lets Rep know that you like me and that they should send me more stuff. So, but with that all said, let's get this thing unboxed, assembled, and take a good look at it. All right, so that went together really, really easily. Everything you need came with. It came with 3 different Allen wrenches, which, by the way, the Allen wrenches are black chrome like the knobs are. Such a cool little touch. Not a lot to put on here. You had to screw the pads on, put the little bumper on at the top of this pad for upright storage, put the part with the wheels, and then the front foot. So I think I had it done in under 20 minutes. No big deal whatsoever. It comes with everything that you need. As far as how it came out of the box, this thing was packed really, really well. There are no scratches, there are no dings. Really great condition. It's in pristine condition right out of the box. It's such a nice, refreshing thing to open up a package that doesn't have a bunch of scratches inside. Everything's not just bubble wrapped and thrown in the same box. So as far as the condition that arrived, even though the box had some kind of holes and rips in it, this thing was perfect coming out of the box. So I want to start by correcting something I said in the intro, and that's what you get when I don't use a script. I just throw the camera on and start talking to you guys. I was actually wrong about where this falls in their lineup. I would say that if you're looking at things as a good, better, best, then the good is the Rep AB-5000. That's still a great value in a bench, but that's their lower price bench. This guy at $449 and the Rep AB-5200, which is behind me, at $499 are kind of the mid-tier benches, but it's where I think you get the most value for your money. There's definitely a large number of differences between these two, which I'll go over at the end of the video so you can hopefully make a decision between the two.
I can't decide which one I liked best, the big fat one or the bald one.
And then you've got the Blackwing at $599, and even more if you order some of the add-ons for that at the flagship level, or the kind of the best level in their lineup. So I was a little bit wrong on that. I would not put this at the good level or at the entry level in any way, shape, or form. This thing is really sweet, as you're about to see. So let's take a look at the specs on this thing so we can see if it'll not only fit in your garage gym, but also fit your body. So the overall length of this is 51 inches. The width at these wheels here is just under 22 inches, and it is about 16, according to the specs, it's 16.8 inches tall. When I measured it, it's 16.5 inches tall, but it's close enough to the 17 inches that most people want to be able to practice. If you're competing in IPF competitions, 17 inches is the bench height that you're going to be benching on, so this is close enough to that to use this to practice on. As far as upright storage, you are just under 24 inches wide for the wheels by the 17 inches, so it takes up a pretty small amount of floor space when it is stored upright, and it does store upright. So it does have wheels on the end to move it around, which is great. Unlike most other companies, all of Rep's benches allow you to just kind of lift it up just a little bit and the wheels engage, which I love. Same thing on this one. So the wheels work really, really well and allow you to move it around your gym really easily. As far as the pad gap goes, the pad gap is they listed at 1.57 inches, it's 1.6 inches. One thing I will note is this hinge is relatively close to the top of the gap. When I was checking this out after I opened it, if you sit on the gap, you're definitely gonna feel that hinge, whereas like the 5200 and some of the other benches that they make, either the Blackwing is a zero gap, or with the 5200, that hinge is a little lower below the cushions. So if you do happen to sit on the gap, you're not actually gonna feel it. It didn't bother me, and we'll go over how this pad works for somebody my size and maybe for somebody your size here in a second. But the pad itself is 36 inches, and then the width of the pad is just under 12 inches at 11.8. That's a pretty standard back pad. So you've got that, and then you've got the adjustments. You've got 4 adjustments on the seat. One of the cool things is there are 3 adjustments up, and then there's actually 4 adjustments up, and that allows you, the way this adjusts, which I'll show you in here in a second, allows you to actually use this as a decline bench as well without having to buy a separate post like you do for the 5200. There are, I believe, 7 back adjustments on this. So there's plenty of different angles. There are laser cut numbers in the bottom to let you know how high up it goes. The overall weight of this bench is 88 pounds, and then the weight capacity is 700 pounds, which is one of the things that surprised me. Normally you'll see on a lot of weight benches an 800 or 1,000 pound capacity. This is listed at 700. I'm gonna say that the way that Rep tests their stuff, they're probably testing that under a pretty aggressive load. So odds are it's probably more than that. But if you're looking for something with an 800 or even 1,000 pound capacity, this is not gonna be it. Do I think that's an issue? No, this thing seems rock solid and stable. But if you're lifting that much weight, you're probably better off with the Blackwing or the AB-5200 anyway. Outside of that, I'd say most of us garage gym folks, 700 pounds is gonna be just fine. Let's take a look at the fit and finish of this bench. So there's a couple of really cool things. Number one, the matte black is really sweet. In fact, the overall look of this bench, I've seen some of the marketing pictures online, they just don't do it justice. This thing looks really good in real life. Combined with the fact that there's no scratches on it, the powder coat is really solid. It's nice and thick. It's a nice textured matte black look. All of the hardware is black. There's no silver anywhere on there. So there's no silver washers. There's no silver spacers. The knobs are not only knurled like really, really well, just like you would knurl a barbell. It's a medium knurl, but they're black chrome, and the black chrome looks amazing. Typically what you'd find on a bench like this is they would at least make the knobs and the handles like a silver color or a hard chrome color, and everything's blacked out. It looks great. When Rep originally reached out about getting this bench, I had asked for first of all, I'd asked for clear grind, and they aren't gonna make this bench at this point in clear grind. So I said, okay, well, how about green to match my gym? And they said, well, green's not shipping until late May. So I said, fine, I'll take the black. And I'm actually glad that that's what happened, because this thing looks amazing in black. As far as the pads go, bravo to Rep for finally changing their pad design. One of the biggest nitpicks I've had with Rep benches, since I've been reviewing Rep benches for 8 to 10 years now, is on the side of their pads, normally like here, even on the 5200, along the bottom of their benches, they have these pieces of trim that are kind of glued on, and that hides the seam where the vinyl meets the bottom of the pad. And that stuff always comes off. Now, I haven't had an issue on the 5200. They did definitely get better over the years, but their earlier benches, that stuff would just come right off. With these are really, really cool. The way that this is done is the vinyl, which is their Sure Grip vinyl or the Clean Grip vinyl. I'm not sure why they call it Clean Grip, because one of the drawbacks of this type of vinyl is, yes, it's nice and sticky, and yes, it picks up every piece of dirt and dust and debris in your entire gym. So I am constantly cleaning these things. They're relatively easy to clean, but I don't think I should have to clean them as much as they do. But nevertheless, the pads and this, number one, the foam is a new type of foam for them. I love the feel. It's nice and firm. It doesn't feel like it's going to compress over time at all. And then the way that the vinyl is wrapped, it's finished underneath so that it's kind of a molded feel to it. And it's just, as you'll see in the pictures up on the screen, it's a completely different way to do a bench pad, and it looks awesome. And you can just tell by the feel and the way that it fits that this stuff is going to be way more durable than this little kind of trim piece that goes around the edge of all of their other benches. So I really love the way that they've done this. As far as the adjustments go, not only do you have the knurled knobs, but here I've got a nice quiet adjustment. One of the things I like about this is that on the way up, I can just lift the seat up, and then I can use the knob to put it back down. And here's the example of what I was talking about, of how you can actually take the seat, lean it down. There's an accessory port up here, which we'll cover in a minute, where you can put some leg rollers, and then now you've got a decline bench. With all of their other benches, you had to do it another way, where you had to get a special post where this lowered down. This is actually a really nice adjustment for that. As you'll hear, when I adjust this, it's nice and soft and muted. One of the things I wish was a little bit different is on this, it doesn't have the plastic coating on the adjuster down here, so it's a little bit louder. But overall, super nice, easy to adjust, moves up and down really easily, and overall, the fit, finish, and functionality of this is really good. Another nice thing that I like about this is the front foot design. It's a smaller version of what's on the Blackwing. Now typically, like you'll see on most benches, like you'll see on this one back here, there's a narrow foot post that's kind of rectangular. And what this does is it flares out, so it's a wider footprint on that bottom foot. And what I've noticed is that makes the foot end of the bench a lot more stable. So as far as using this as a stable platform to not only bench from, but to do dumbbell rows and to do like chest supported rows, or to do really any other thing you're going to do with your bench, I have noticed that this particular type of foot design is superior. It's nice because of the way that it is, and it's flat and it flares out. It still doesn't get in the way of your feet. It's kind of a triangular shape, so where you would tuck your feet in, you're not going to run into the foot still. So I think that's another nice design upgrade with this. There is rubber on the bottom of it. It's not moving around at all. So functionally speaking and how it works, really, 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 really well done. There's actually a lot of things that I like better about this than I like about my 5200, and you'll see when we do the direct comparison between those. So if you're going to buy an adjustable bench for your gym, I've always thought Rep Fitness is one of your better options out there. Rep Fitness really built their reputation and their company on their benches. It was the first thing they started doing really, really well. Their AB-5000 has been one of the best-selling weight benches in the country for a very long time, and with good reason, and each iteration has just gotten better. So if you're looking at the Rep Fitness lineup and you're not looking to go with the Blackwing, now I have a very detailed video out of the 5200 versus the Blackwing, as well as a detailed review of both the 5200 and the Blackwing here on the channel. I'll link those in the description, and definitely check those out if you're interested in one of those benches. If you're narrowed it down to one of these two, which I think a lot of people probably will, as far as getting a lot for your money, I think this mid price point tier is a great place to be for a lot of equipment, and these benches are no exception. You tend to get a lot for your money when you go from an entry-level priced item to kind of this price point. And what you're looking at is right now the NightHawk is retailing at, I believe, $449. The AB-5200 is retailing at $499. Definitely check the link down below for current sale pricing and also to see if tariffs have screwed that pricing up. But let me show you what the differences are, because I don't know that I would sit here and tell you that one is better than the other. They are each better at different things, and depending on what's going to be important to you in your gym is going to determine which of these that you're going to get. Look, there's a $50 difference between the two. I don't think price should be a deciding factor for you. I really think it's the things that I'm going to go over and how these are different from one another. So let's kind of just move across the whole benches and compare them as we go, so you can see all of the details. Now, I've had this bench in the 5200 has been my main bench for a very long time, so I'm super familiar with this. I'm very familiar with the little things that need to be better, and I think that this actually fixes some of those things. So let's start with just this top part right here with this seat. Seats are about the same size. This one is a little bit different shape. I do like that it's a little narrower on the front, just so that it doesn't necessarily stick between your legs too much. Although this is definitely a comfortable seat. They're both kind of shaped like this, so not a big deal. As far as the adjustments go, with this one, you're gonna adjust with these knurled knobs. You can actually just pull up on the front seat and it'll pop up on its own, whereas here you're gonna lift this little handle right here to adjust. One of the things that I'm not a fan of this is when you're inclining this bottom seat right here, this last adjustment when it's flat, you actually have to lift this up and then push this in. I would love to see it just kind of just go click, 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 click in all four positions without having to move anything. With this one, it does do that. Every position, it just slides right into the next one with no issue. They're both set so that this doesn't flop around when they are in the upright position like it is right now. As far as the front handles go, both of them have knurled handles. They're the same exact knurling, really high quality knurl. A lot of benches out there, what you'll see is they'll put a bunch of crosshatches on the handle and call it knurled. This is actually a legitimately well knurled handle with good grip. I would say, really guys, this black chrome is so nice. I don't think a camera can do it justice in person. It's got this little bit of metallic sheen to it, but it's black like everything else, and the blackout look is great. As much as I like this clear grind, I really like this blacked out matte black, all black, no silver. There's no silver anywhere on this thing. It's really cool. Even the hardware on the bottom underneath is black. So that's pretty cool. The front foot, like I discussed when I went over, this is definitely wider, and it's shaped a lot like the Blackwing. It's also shaped a lot like the Rogue Manta Ray. I like that because this plate is flat, and it's designed so that it still gets out of the way of your feet, but it gives your bench a little bit more stability. Now, I've never had an issue with the foot stability on this, but when I put them side by side and I kind of tried to, there is definitely a little tiny bit of difference where this is more stable and does stay in place a little bit more. Now, as far as stability goes, 1,000-pound weight capacity, 700-pound weight capacity. I know that's going to be a big deal for a lot of you guys out there. If it's going to be a big deal, make sure it's actually a big deal. I talk to a lot of people who are like, well, why would I want a 700-pound when I can get a 1,000-pound? And then I ask, how much do you bench? And they're like, well, I'm working up to 185. If that's you, the capacity won't matter. So if the other things we talk about lean you one way or the other, don't worry about it. But if it is important to you, this is a bigger, heavier, beefier, higher weight capacity bench, whereas the NightHawk is kind of, the way that I'm looking at it is it's a small Blackwing. It's a small Blackwing without the zero gap technology in the seat, which, to be honest, if you watch my Blackwing review, I don't like anyway. It's one of the reasons I got rid of the Blackwing. Another reason I got rid of the Blackwing is because of its weight. When you picked up the front handle on the Blackwing, I believe the specific weight was about that of a small Volkswagen Beetle. Just moving that thing around the gym, for those of you guys out there who have it, you know what I'm talking about. It was literally so heavy, I hated using it. Just how heavy it was. So with this, I put my little crane scale on here. This, when you pick up the handle, is 16.5 pounds of weight. With the AB-5200, it's 23.5 pounds. So there is about a 7-pound weight difference between these two, 6 or 7 pound weight difference. between the two, this is definitely easier to pick up and wheel around. So I know a lot of you out there have spouses out there who don't like your Blackwing. In fact, I've talked to several of you who got rid of your Blackwing because your spouse doesn't like the weight of that bench. And I think even Winnie, Gluck's wife over on the Gluck's channel, doesn't like the Blackwing either because she didn't like moving it around. So if you're worried about how lightweight it is and how easy it is to move around, this is noticeably easier to move around. I wouldn't say that the AB-5200 is heavy, but this is definitely nicer and easier to move around. As far as the wheels engaging, they both engage really quickly, so moving around is fairly simple, but this one is definitely a little better in that regard. When you look at the overall weight, not just how much it takes to lift them up and move them around. This puppy weighs in at 88 pounds. The AB-5200 weighs in at 115 pounds. Both of them are built like a tank. Both of them will be the last bench you ever have to buy, barring the need for any accessories, which we'll talk about in a second. As far as the pad material goes, it's the same clean grip vinyl. One of the areas that this guy really excels is the way that the pads are designed and the pad material. This pad material is just, look, they're both great. It's just this one, it just has a little bit different feel to it, and it's just a little bit more firm, which I like a lot, especially if you lift heavy. But the big difference is how they attach the vinyl and how they design the seats. There's no more trim or anything like that on this, like I mentioned. This is a much cleaner design. Not only looks great, but you can tell it's just a whole lot more durable over time. The other difference is going to be in the seat gap here. The 5200 has a smaller seat gap, and the hinge is recessed a little lower in the seat here, whereas this is a larger seat gap with the hinge a little bit higher. This one you are gonna feel, so if you tend to sit down and sit on the gap, you may like the 5200 a little bit better. So the big difference for me is the back pad size. The back pad on the NightHawk is 36 inches long, while the back pad on the AB-5200 is 42 inches long. Here's why that's important. I'm 6'6". When I use this bench, I never have to worry about the gap because this pad is long enough for me to use as a flat bench all on its own. I've got tons of room so that my butt to my head fit just on the back pad with room to spare at both ends. So even when I lean back, if I've got like a lot of shoulder drive for bench pressing where my body tends to shift a little bit, I am still there. Now I can get my whole body on this 36-inch back pad, but my butt is at the very edge and my head is just in front of the very edge. So if I do lean back and then drive with my legs and shift my body, my head kind of just tipped over the back edge of that seat. Now, I'm 6'6". I would say that if you're 6 foot or shorter, this is gonna work for you just like the AB-5200 works for me, and you're not gonna have an issue either way. But if you're taller, you may enjoy the taller back pad of the 5200. Now let's get to what's on the bottom of the back pad. On this, you've got a choice of a fixed post or an adjustable decline post. And I've got the decline post in here because the way that this declines is this raises up and then you kind of slap that down a little bit and you've got a little bit of a slight decline. I never use that, and there's actually no way to connect leg rollers on this, so it's something that I honestly never use. I bought the post thinking I might use it occasionally. The one way I know a lot of you guys use it is if you have an Aries, docking this bench in the Aries and aligning it down to kind of point at the low row connection point makes you able to low on the low row on the Aries sit on the bench and not have to sit on the floor, which is awesome. I don't have an Aries, so I don't use it for that, and so I probably didn't need to buy that decline post. What's at the bottom of this is their brand new accessory port. And what the accessory port allows you to do, now there's an accessory port on this and there's an accessory port on the Blackwing. And right now they've got leg rollers out. So if you want to use this for decline sit-ups and you need something to hook your legs in, they've already got that accessory. For me, I use other things to do ab work, so I'm not a huge decline sit-up fan, so I don't have that. I had it for the Blackwing, but I sold that along with the Blackwing. With this, not only are they going to have that, they have just recently announced the first of probably many accessories. They have got a killer looking leg developer for this. The things that I like about the leg developer for this is if you look close, the hinge point is right where the side of your knee is going to be, which means the geometry is really good. There's an angle on the weight horn, which means that the resistance curve is going to be really good. Those are two things you don't see on the Iron Master, two things that you don't see on the Bells of Steel. All the companies that have come out with with leg developers. Even the Freak Athlete, which I've got here, doesn't do that as well as this looks like it's going to do that. The other thing is this is also going to connect to the cables of not only the Aries and the Athena for Rep, but it doesn't look like a proprietary connection. It looks like you'd be able to use it on any cable system. So I would be able to put the leg developer on this and then use it on the Fringe Sport cable system I've got behind me. So to be real honest with you, my first impression is that I personally like this AB-5200 better because of the length of the back pad. And as cool as the matte black is, the clear grind is awesome, guys. I mean, come on, look at that. That's just, when the sun hits this, I'm telling you, it's sick. So, and it matches my stainless steel uprights. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But once I get the leg developer for this one, if it's as good as I think it's gonna be, and it connects to the cables, and over that time, because I am going to put this up and just use the NightHawk for quite a while so that I can give you guys a detailed and thorough kind of final review of how does it hold up and how do I like it. If I can get used to bridging my back over this gap, or figure out a way to use this the same way that I use this one, I could very well end up keeping this bench, because I think that the accessory port is something nice. So if you think that you're going to want to add accessories to your bench down the road, the clear choice is this one. Now, I did immediately reach out to Rep and I said, hey, are you gonna make an AB-5300 with an accessory port in it so that accessory works in all of them? And the answer I got was, at this time, there is no AB-5200v2 on their roadmap, which tells me one of two things. Either they're just not planning on doing it, or maybe, and I don't know, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on real quick.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories.
Maybe this is just gonna be it, and this might not be it anymore. Like, this might go away, because these are close enough, and this is better in a lot of different ways. Now, this doesn't come in clear grind, so that's one thing.
Too bad. So sad.
That's kind of the differences between the two. So here's how I would pick between the two. If you're not a crazy monster and you're not lifting crazy amounts of weight and you don't need the 1,000-pound weight capacity, if you're not a giant lanky guy like me at 6'6" and you're 6 feet or shorter, quite honestly, I can't give you a whole lot of compelling reasons to spend $50 more on the 5200 than I can on this. The two big ones are the higher weight capacity to 1,000 pounds and the longer back pad. If those two things aren't a big deal for you, this has got a nicer finish, as long as you don't want the clear grind, but just guys, the quality and the look of this, it's really sweet. The black chrome handles, the way that the pads are done, the way that the vinyl is wrapped, the accessory port on it. Oh, by the way, the pop pins on the accessory port are also black chrome metal and are hands down the nicest pop pins I've ever used by quite a bit. These things are sweet. So overall, there's a lot to like on the NightHawk. And like I said, if you don't need those two things that are directly related to either your size or how much weight you're lifting, to me, I think the NightHawk's probably the better choice. Like I said, right now I'm leaning towards this one, but we'll see in 4 to 6 months, or maybe even sooner if I make a decision sooner, if maybe my beloved 5200 in this beautiful clear grind color goes away. We'll see, but we'll leave you hanging for the next review or things like that. So if you have questions on this, I'm gonna have both of these benches in the gym for the next 4 to 6 months, most likely. If you need me to measure something, check something, test something at all for you, if you have a question, right now, these aren't shipping for probably 6 weeks. I'm recording this in mid-April. And right now, orders placed right now don't ship till the end of May. So you've got some time to think about it. You've got some time to weigh your options. If while you're doing it you have questions, please let me know. But that is yet another long, detailed review on the GymCrafter YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys hanging until now. I appreciate you guys liking and giving such good feedback on these types of reviews. I really like making them for you. And until the next review or podcast or whatever you tune in for, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.